Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. A little more work on Project Betty White this weekend. We've so far stripped all the interior out of this thing. We've cut a couple of holes out of the floor that were super rusty, and I've managed to put a little bit of the floor back together. So this weekend I'd like to have this side cut out. There's just a little cancer in the back of that floorboard right there. Get that cut out, weld in a new patch, and hopefully we can put something on this floor so it doesn't rust no more and get it one step closer to being a roadworthy vehicle again. So here we go. Okay, first things first. You have to get as much seam sealer up as possible. So we found the best thing was a wire brush wheel on our diagonal grinder. And I got a flat one and one that's like a cup and just went at it. And it was hours, and it smells bad, and you probably should use a face shield because the stuff just goes everywhere. Now once you got that stuff up, then you can kind of see what you got to do and how much you got to take up off this floor. So we kind of drew some lines and figured out what needed to come up. Now, when it was time to cut, we just put a cutting disc on our diagonal grinder and cut it all out. It took a minute. We found the easiest thing to do was cut it out and kind of leave the frame rails or unibody rails, leave the metal on those and just cut it out around it, and then come back with the chisel and start hitting those spot welds. And it's going to take a minute, but if you go slow and you got a good sharp chisel, you'll go through them and it'll come right up. Then it was time to make some cardboard cutouts. Transfer that pattern over to our sheet metal. I used 24 inch by 24 inch by 16 gauge sheet metal. That worked really good. I used that on the rear floor, on the driver and passenger side. The front right passenger side floorboard was totally shot. I actually ordered a whole new floor pan for that side. After everything was prepped, I hit it all with some brake clean to clean all the oil off of everything and all the debris. Then I sprayed it all with weld through primer. And then it was time to start welding. Okay, so I tried something new this time. I went and got a bottle of 75-25 so I could use some regular welding wire, and it was fantastic. I've never welded with gas before, but it really made it a lot easier. But it only lasted for about a little more than half a spool of wire. So then it was back to flux core. It didn't matter which wire I had. The thing that really seemed to work was spot welding. So run a little spot, jump over 2 inches, run another spot, jump another 2 inches. I worked in about a 10-inch section, and then I just go back and plop another bubble next to the first one, go to the second one, third one, just continue that all the way around. It took forever, but by doing so, I barely burned through the floor. The only time I did was when I kind of got in a hurry and I was like, heck with this, we're running a bead. And I'd say for every 3 beads I ran, I burned through 2 times. Then you gotta sit there and fill it in. It wasn't much fun. Just do the spot welding. The game changer was having my air chuck right next to me, and I could just blow down everything when it got too hot. That saved a lot of time, and you gotta remember the fuel lines are on the driver's side. So you kind of want to not let that get too hot over there. But all in all, it turned out okay. Well, that's it for today. We welded some more. We cleaned a ton. And it's dark out. So tomorrow's another day. So at least now there's a floor. And we can go from there. There's still a bunch of seam sealer I got to take up, and it's just a mess underneath it. But I got the major patches done. I don't think I'm going to need to patch anything else. It's just a bunch of rip out the seam sealer and clean it up. I've cleaned it with the POR 15 degreaser, and I'll probably hit it again. I did it twice tonight. I scrubbed everything down, and I even did some of the walls too. But anyway. Alright, YouTube, that's a wrap for today. If you're working on your XJ, you feel my pain. Alright, we'll catch you next time. Project Betty White, out.